Crafters. This is a video that I'm doing for Priscilla del Valle, or maybe it's pronounced Priscilla de Valle. Anyhow, I will link her in the description bar below so that you can look her up and join in if you want. And she's requesting certain things for her birthday challenge giveaway, and one of them is to alter an item. This is the item that I'm altering, although I chose a pink one. I have pink and blue. And it's a very thin metal dog tag with a really cool silver chain. And I've started out by just using some of this gesso and putting it over, I didn't do the back yet, but putting it over the top. And I'm not sure if that comes across really clearly, but you can kind of see a crisscross pattern where I painted it on, so it'll have a little bit of a texture as well. But the back side I'm not going to paint. I definitely want to do Christmas, and she's into Christmas, and this paper matches really well. So instead of painting the back, I'm going to use the blue one so I don't wreck the pink one that I've already done. And I don't know if any of you have not seen this tip, but when you have a round, a silver chain link like that, it's best to open it sideways like this to get it off, and don't ever pull them straight apart because you'll never get it back to a perfect circle. But when you do it sideways like that, you can always just close it right back so that those two meet in the same spot. So that's my quick tip. So I'm gonna trace this so that I have a piece that I can glue onto the back of this. And I'm gonna pause here so that you don't have to watch this whole portion of it. Now after you trace this out and put it on the back, it should be slightly bigger than the piece, and that's good because then you can sand off the edges and make it look more polished, have a nicer finish to it. I'm going to use E6000 to adhere this because it is metal, and I'm not sure how the other glues will react to this. This gives me a little bit of playtime as well. I always put the cap back on right away so it doesn't ease out. And I want the shiny part up. So this is a wet glue. It doesn't take a real long time to dry, but you do have some play, so if you don't get it on there exactly the way you want it, you can slide it around. I'm going to leave that to dry before I put the rest of it together. Okay, now that my piece is relatively dry, I'm going to just take the edge of my scissors and I'm going to rough up the edges of that reddish paper around the dog tag. Just enough so that it's roughed into the edge, but not so much that it's going to show the pink of the dog tag underneath, because I don't want that to show. Make sure you let this dry thoroughly if you're not used to doing this sort of stuff, because you definitely don't want the backing to come off. Mind sliding just a bit and wait for it to fully dry, but I'm just going to hang on to it and keep going. I've never been known for my patience, that's for sure. Okay. So now you can tell that I've left kind of a fuzzy red edge, but it is covering the pink of the dog tag on the back, so you won't see that coming through. I think the script stamp would look really cute on the back of that, or I should say the front. So I'm going to use this, make sure the writing is upside right. I'm not even going to use a block, I'm just going to put this straight down on my mat, and stays on. I think would probably be the best choice if I can get my hands on my stays on. There it is. I'm just going to use this to ink up part of it. Okay. And then I'm going to put this face down on the stamp. And just give it a push. There. That's kind of cute. And before that completely dries on, a baby wipe can usually take most of that off. You can't get the rest of your ink off, which that took off most of it. Alcohol will also do it, but alcohol may also dry out your stamp some. So I just try to clean it off, and once in a while I put a little bit of Versamark on because it's a conditioner. Versamark is. You can always leave that on your stamps, but not your stays on. So that turned out really cool. I like the look of that. Whoops! I just got my camera all wet with my baby wipe. I've got this stamp that I ordered. I can't remember where I got it from. Anyway, it's got my name on it and the name of where I sell my crafts, qualitycrafts.weebly.com, and I want to put that on the back of my tag so she can remember who made this for her. But I know that this is just coming with regular ink, so I'm gonna pull it out like this, and I'm gonna take, which is why I had the baby wipe and why my camera got wet. I'm just gonna wipe this off while I still have it sticking out, because it's all inked up with that whatever ink comes with it, which I don't know what kind it is, but not my favorite. Anyway, oh, Vistaprint there, that's where I got it from. Doi. You can get these relatively cheap, if not free, sometimes if you watch the Vistaprint site. Anyhow, the reason why I did that and why I have to hold this now is because I'm going to use that same stays on that I had before. And I'm not going to stamp it right on there because now that I've got embellishments on, if I flip it over, it's going to be, you know, kittywampus. So, I'm going to take the best I can without letting this get back in. And I'm going to ink this up. I'm probably going to get black fingers, but I think that's just the cost that it's going to be to do this. And so just push it down into the stays on ink, because that's the color I really want. Yeah, I think that's going to work. I might have to wipe it off some when I'm done. I'm okay with that. I have inky fingers all the time. And I always have these little pre-cut papers laying around because I don't get rid of all my scraps. And I just grabbed any old one and I'm going to put this one down on there. I may have to grab another one. I'm hoping that this was big enough. And then let it go. Now it's stamped in stays on, so it won't come off. Probably won't do that very often, but it's just for this project. I just felt like it, so I'm wiping off the ink. That'll eventually just wash off in hand washings. And then I'll clean off the edge of this, which will be stained because it stays on, and I'm okay with that. Someday I'll get myself a nice rubber stamp that has my name on it. That's not cheap like this one. And then what I want to do with this is I'm just going to take and... oh, it's getting really warm in my room. Must be getting hot outside. I'm just going to cut around it. If I used the other ink and I touched it already like this, it would be smearing all over the place, which is why I was willing to take the extra mile here, just to make sure that it wouldn't come off. And now this black and white matches this black and white, and I'm just going to adhere it to the back with a little bit of glue. I gave these a little tug here, and the sticker's coming up, and so is the glue, but I have a feeling that I just need to let this sit overnight and give us plenty of time to adhere to that. So it is done, and my name's on the back. I just used some Eileen's tacky glue for that because it was direct to paper, so you know it's not going to come off. And that's the end of that. So I hope that you guys will try altering something, and if you want to enter into Priscilla's giveaway, go ahead and do so. See you next video.